the results of that stroll, because the birds, the animals, all acted a certain way because you walked through. And then you feel later on that their activities enlivened and strengthened your own energetic field. So phase 3 will draw people back to nature. It will be the accumulation, of course, of the countdown to consciousness. You may find in phase 3 bits of uncomfortable sort of interludes when your body becomes very switched on and you say, golly, I feel like I know too much. There's too much information coming in. I'm getting psychic. I don't need to pick up all this stuff. If you feel that way, acknowledge it. No moaning, groaning, whining, or complaining. Simply acknowledge this. And if you are getting overloaded on data that's coming at you from all different directions, picking things up about the past, about the future, about someone sitting at the next table in the next restaurant, if it is disturbing to you, then a technique we taught everyone years and years ago is picture a faucet above your head, water faucet, and turn the knob down or turn it off. That is you, using a very simple analogy to indicate, hey, there's too much coming at me, I want to turn it off. All right? Pictures, what is that expression? Pictures worth 1,000 words, yes? When you throw up your own pictures in your mind and you use your imagination, these pictures have a profound effect in terms of communications, in terms of affecting the mass consciousness. You can send pictures to people that they can be well, to shed off their pain, to slough it off like a snake transforming itself, growing a new skin, or a crab or a lobster, or anything that transforms itself. So be respectful and honor the power that your mind has to communicate with pictures. Sometimes these phases will happen just for a short time, a day. Sometimes, again, our vehicle went through one that lasted a few moons. But as she said, she saw that Saturn was hovering, let's say, over her natal moon. And so she knew that she was going through a Saturn difficult time with the emotions. Your moon rules mother, emotional body, the masses, home, and she knew that this too shall pass, and this is an initiation, a preparation, so that the body sometimes goes through stress and takes it on so that it can smooth out later, and you come out of these things often stronger, more centered, you have more wisdom, and your nervous system is been repaved. Yes, been repaved. You watch the roads being repaved, your nervous system has to go through very similar alterations. So again, it is how you lay claim to what you have created. Let's just go into this just for a moment, and then we'll open up to questions, whatever you want. It is natural within the course of life to fall into caverns, crevices, lumps and bumps, and some of them are just hassles, some of them are inconveniences, and some of them can produce tremendous trauma. It just depends on the individual. Always there is a way of looking in the astrological map to see that you are undergoing something. There's always a way to look simply at numerology. A good numerologist can look at your name and your birth date and tell you when you're going through stress, when you are going through upliftment, when this and this and this has happened. So are these people talented? Where do they get this from? Or is reality organized within a certain structure, and that structure is readable? That structure has its parameters of possibility. It doesn't precisely say this has to happen. Which again, someone with a limited belief system and someone on a course to destruction, if they are in a, let's say, potential destructive time and they are bent on that course, then the probabilities narrow. So if you are feeling restricted, confined in life, trapped by what you have created, the best way to deal with this is to go into it, to really feel it, to see illness as an ally. Your body always, always, always works with you. You are suspect of the body because you do not understand your body is following commands and beliefs that perhaps you are not consciously aware of, although you may say them and they may speak out of your mouth, you may not hear what you are setting into motion. So the thing is to trust your body, and most important, love your body. As you age, as your body changes, love it anyways. That is the Spirit's duty. Your love for your body is the fuel your body needs to keep going smoothly. When you judge your body or what your body's done or what you had created and you get stuck on something, say a traumatic event, a violence, a violation, an intrusion of some sort, sometimes people say, well, I didn't have anything to do with this traumatic rape or this violation or this. And some people, you look at the newspapers, people all the time create very, very disturbing situations. Why do they do this? Sometimes it is purely out of ignorance. It is purely out of self-programming oneself into destruction. Self-hypnotic suggestions, either out loud or to the self, that put the self in situations. Sometimes when you're talking about a big event, you're talking about something that shatters your soul and shakes you up, then this, in an out of the ordinary event, this may be the individual, you, replay an event that has happened again and again along your reincarnational retinue. So if, for example, there is a trauma, a violation, a very disturbing event that occurs someplace along the lines of time, and that life allegedly is finished, and that personality died, and from your linear perspective it's long gone. And hypnosis and regression is often based on this. Sometimes someone can have a body pain, and it can be quite disturbing, and they go to all sort of doctors and different techniques to look to see the source of the pain, and no one can cure the pain, and it seems that no one can label it, or it comes from nowhere. So out of desperation, sometimes people will go to a regression therapist, a hypnotherapist. Therapist takes them in. Therapist has a different belief system. Therapist says, well, there's probably someplace a violation that happened on the lines of time that was never resolved. The person, soul spirit, never understood the reason that they created this. So the reason goes out the window. The event is like a picture that is seared on the soul. And then the soul feels afraid. And then through fear, you attract the same thing again and again to resolve it. That's why you create things, to resolve them. You don't create things that are disturbing because you are bad. You create them to put yourself in a situation so that you can see the purpose of it. And as we have often explained, you have free will to create what you want. You are all creators. And there is a consequence, of course, to having free will and being creators, and that is responsibility. Create what you want, but that's what you set into motion, you have to live with, and it will come back to you. So sometimes there is quite simply a paying of karmic debt. If you are a bad parent, so to speak, and you have neglected your children, then you may, to understand what you did, find yourself in a situation where you are born into a family that neglects you. It is best to accept responsibility and not to blame. And then that way, you put an end to the cycle. Because you can stop it with you. People who have been involved in sexual abuse, for example, in today's world, there are many, many people speaking out. Many, many, many people speaking out, whether it is sexual abuse of the churches or family or government officials or all kinds of things like this. As people have the courage to speak out,